good to see you, sister.
Yeah, yeah, we haven't seen each other for. I mean, we saw each other after Mallorca once, I guess. I don't remember.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sharing your writing with me because wow.
It was obvious. I mean, it was obvious to dedicate it to you. Um, yeah, kind of. Somehow. And this language, the language difference, it was not it was not discussable, like it was not any kind of a no reason. it was uh, it was just yeah, somehow yeah, very immediate and very natural.
Mm,
i've
yeah.
been writing I've been writing this text for a very long time, actually, before before it now has come out. I
Yeah, when did you start?
I don't know. I guess I started it somewhere around coming back to Poland.
Mm,
And coming back to Poland was 3 years ago. And most of the text I wrote a long time ago, and then I had different pauses in between. So, but I have also been rewriting it until the very version, the now version, also several months. So, yeah.
and how do you know when you're comfortable with, how do you know when you get to that point where it's done, not continue to rewrite it for another
Yeah.
several months or years?
At some point, I just know. The week I finished it, I guess I finished it on Saturday, and somewhere in the middle of this week, I knew. I just started to know. It's like I start to know suddenly. I mean, out of the process, out of the another week, another week, another reason, another event, another week.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, another rewritten fragment. I just at some point mid in the middle of this week, a few days before, and I didn't expect it. I mean, I just know I finished it this week. This week I just give it out,
Wow.
and so it and so it went on. Because I've been rewriting it so many times. At some point, I knew it's finalizing. And of course, maybe in some months, in some years, I write a new version, or I
Mm,
expand it, because it's alive. So yeah, but I remember somewhere in the middle of this week, I kind of knew very naturally, now the time has come.
okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
but
I'm
I
asking.
dedicated it to you some months ago, like some months ago already in the process, not in the very final stage. No, 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 it's been there. And I was thinking several times of telling you about this, but then no, no, I just wait until it's ready.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's such an honor. Yeah, thank you, sister. I
thank you
appreciate
so
that.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing because when you sent it to me, I didn't begin to look at it. The next day I was planning to when Kyra went to school because I knew I needed space. I needed space and time to be able to experience it properly, not just to kind of rush through it. I just knew it needed this like needed to pause and really experience it properly. And so then that day she didn't end up going to school. So I was like, okay, it's all right, tomorrow. And then the next day, it was the first thing I did once I had my time to myself was I sat down all prepared and began began to read through your masterpiece. And yeah, like I said to you, I started to kind of try and understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I was in my head a bit and I tried to sort of understand it. And that didn't get very far because I guess I realized very quickly that my understanding of the Polish language is very limited. So I'm not going to understand it in this way. So I paused and then I just decided I was going to feel it and just receive it. So that's when I just began to read it and it kind of developed a rhythm or something. It just kind of began to flow, I guess. And I don't even feel like I don't even feel like I really read every word because I don't actually do you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to pronounce half of those words, probably most of them. But it just sort of spoke to me anyway. Like I didn't need to understand
Mm-hmm.
what the words meant. And I still have no idea what the words mean, obviously, but I felt so much emotion reading it and the build-up of emotions and energy moving through me. It was just, I was in tears at some points and laughter and lightness at other points. And sometimes the tears were like these kind of deeply emotional, moving tears, and other times it was joyful tears. And yeah, I think it's just like, you know how you're exactly right. There is no barrier with the language because there was like a depth and truth in it that just kind of spoke to me anyway. Mm. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's interesting because it may seem so abstract to the mind, and how you are saying you've received this to me is so natural, and it's in some sense I knew this is for you because you so naturally receive it
Yeah.
from this place, from this space, from this state, because this is how it's written also. It's
Mm.
not written through the language.
I wondered that actually when I got to the end, and not so much when I got to the end that day, but when I thought about it or felt into it the next day. I just kind of sat and let it process through me, really. I didn't want to try and get into my head again. And but when I did start considering it, I wondered, I did read it again the next day or the day after, and
Mm,
um, that's when I noticed more stuff actually. There was more that I noticed the second time. Um, but I wondered afterwards because I could feel that deep place of she, that place deep in the core. There were so many points where I felt really strong in the core when I was reading it.
mhm,
And there was lots of points pretty much the whole way through. Once I got out of my head and I just started feeling it, I really felt in that place where when we sit and be that place, that stillness and that kind of expansive that place, the infinite love source place that just is. And I felt that through so much the whole time through reading it. And I don't even know if I can say reading it. I guess you know what I mean, through allowing it, receiving it. And I wondered the day or so later after doing this the second time whether or not, because I don't know what it says. I wondered, am I feeling the words, the meaning, the essence of what you're actually writing about? Or am I feeling the essence or the core of you when you were writing it? Like,
mm,
or is there any difference? Is it the same thing?
mm,
You know, that the essence of you that comes through into the words, that comes from that place of she, that comes from that source space, that WeAM place, like, is that what's coming through into the words that I'm receiving rather than the words themselves? Do you know what I mean? Like,
mm, very much.
mm,
Yeah, I guess because it's all about this. I mean, it's about many things, and it's many things that kind of co-create, your version of now. but I guess it's this state, is the quality, is the place or space within which I write and through which they come out.
Mm.
And it's this state is fundamental in every aspect, also in the final, in the in the it's in every aspect from the very beginning. There are also moments when the mind wants to reorchestrate something, but then because I kind of reread it so many times until I eliminate all the mind, any kind of intrusions,
Wow. Mm.
so that the word which is there because it's from there.
Mm. Well, that must be clearly why it felt from there to receive it.
Eh,
Mm. And also why when I tried to read it with my mind, I couldn't connect properly.
mm,
Yeah. I had to get out of my mind to be able to receive it.
yeah, yeah, maybe
Mm.
also it takes so long because there are stages through which my mind gets active.
Mm.
So I also had, like, so that I kind of I purify it later.
Mm.
So I keep rewriting because at some point it seems to me something shall be different, should be different. And this difference, find the different, which has been an interruption, disruption, finally I eliminate. So then there is this release into how it's to be.
Mm. And do you feel all that? Like, is there something you feel inside of you when you're doing this? Like you're just conscious of this within your body, within your space,
Yeah,
the
it
energy.
feel it send it it's like it's a very specific quality. It's a
Mm.
quality. Yeah, it's, I guess it's some kind of source quality. It's
Mm.
it's obvious within its spaciousness, effortlessness. It's just the being.
Yeah, I get it. Mm.
Yeah.
I get it because I've noticed in my writing how sometimes when I'm in that state you're talking about, things just kind of flow. It just kind of flows. Um, and then there's other times where it's not in that same sort of space and it doesn't feel as right because it doesn't flow the same way. And there's too much of what I suppose you call distortion or in my headness or other things that I'm trying to meet that aren't actually part of it in a way. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, well, I really felt that when I was reading it, and I wanted to tell you too, I felt a difference. I don't know what the beginning and the end is, but I felt in my body when I was the first opening part of it. And I noticed this the second time more so. I noticed the first time at the ending, but when I reread through it the next time, I noticed this at the beginning as much as well. But there was a definite movement through my body of energy, and at the beginning, it's like the movement's coming from the earth and moving upwards through me.
Mm,
And at the end, right at the end, that continues to grow and move through parts of me. But right at the end, the energy reversed.
mhm,
So at the last page, I think the last page almost, it went from feeling like it was moving upwards through me from the earth to reversing and going downwards back to the earth.
mm.
So I wanted to ask you, does this make sense or is there a reason for this? Is what is the beginning and the end? Is does it circle
Yeah, the beginning and the
around?
end is the same, or the reversal of the same. It's something like, I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's without is also within. Darkness transforms into light. The change happens unseen, which means the change hap- happens, and it's not, it's like you don't see the change.
Mm.
You see the result. I mean, you see the change, you see the change, but you don't see the the process of the change.
Okay, cool.
And then the very end is the reversal. Without, within is also without. Light changes into darkness. The change is unseen. Zmiana dzieje się. I'm just trying to find the Polish,
Wow.
the,
Okay, that makes sense to me
the
then.
English. Zmiana dzieje się niezauważalnie. Nie. I lack the English words now, but so that the change happens, goes unnoticed.
Mm.
But the very beginning and the very end are the reversals of each other.
Okay, cool. That makes sense to me then.
Mm.
Awesome. And also like the I often have my left side that's not online and I have to kind of activate it, which is something I've been working on. But I noticed that it was very early into these chapters of yours that that activated and I felt this whole full-bodied feeling. And also I wanted to tell you, leading up to the white page, the first white page, what is that about? Because leading up to that first white page, I got more and more emotional, and then there was the white page, and I just started sobbing, crying, like. And then after the white page, there was some kind of conversation, it looks like. And I just cried even more. And it was this kind of like it was this kind of crying almost like um yeah, like I don't even know. I got a note here about some of these. The first white page.
First white page. Uh-huh.
Kind of tears of joy or a knowing or something is what I've written here. But it just made me really cry, like I was already feeling emotional, and then I hit that first page that just changed from black to white, and I just kind of lost it with the tears. And then the conversation after it was like really emotional, like a recognition or a knowing or something, and it was super.
Mm.
So I wanted to know what's that about? Why would have had this effect on me in that way, or
Mhm. I'm looking
because
for.
I noticed you had all the dark and then you've only got two white pages.
Uh-huh.
Because the second one had quite a different effect on me. It was also emotional, but it was more kind of light and
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
looking for the white page. There were many more pages throughout the process, but then finally, yeah, there are only two at the end. Yes, actually, this is very funny because the first white page happens after a lightning. This is a lightning of coming back, of reunion, of remembrance, a very friendly awakening, lightning of recognition, of remembrance, of a
Mm.
comeback, of reunion, of reunion. This is the first white page, and then the. I just want to make sure this what I'm saying is right, and then is the.
What's the conversational questions thing
Yeah,
after that?
yeah, it's
Okay.
it's the it's the yeah, it's the one which I posted actually yesterday as a fragment of Wieczna Niewiadoma, and this is very much Doma and me, one, we. From where do we? It's literal translation. It's not a translatable text. I would need to write the version of it. But
Mm.
anyway, the question is, from where do we remember? From where do we meet? From where do we know? From where are we? From where are you and me? From where are you? From where am I? It's WeAM. From where? From from where am we? Jedno my. Jedno my, it's like one we, which is WeAM. And then
Yeah,
and
there's
then
still emotion even saying this now.
and then the text goes on. I don't know how to tell you about myself. I don't know what to tell you about myself, how to introduce myself to you. It seems to me that I don't need to do it. I don't need to tell you anything. I don't need to tell you.
Because you already know.
Yeah, because I feel you know everything about me, you know me. And then um, the final part is I call you by name. I feel I may do it, though we have not yet met. Though we haven't met yet, we know each other so well. And then the question is, may I call you by name, basically. A very poor translation, sister, but I guess it's very much related to your experience of the very situation. Because the very lightning, the first white page comes directly after the lightning of recognition, of remembrance, of reunion. And then it's basically Doma and I, WeAM, WeAM questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sister. Congratulations on your sense.
You're breaking me up here. What is happening? Ah!
You know the language. This is the language we speak.
But seriously, like even when you were saying that then and there was that recognition of that lang of the meaning there, like even that I felt so emotional even hearing you speak that then
Hmm.
as you were doing your poor translation as you call it.
Very poor. It's very poor. I'm very embarrassed.
But I
And
thought that was like,
now I'm planning to create the English version of this. Of course, not a literal translation by but the English version.
okay, that's gonna just mess me up again emotionally, I can tell you already. Because just hearing you say that bit, I was like, it's got such a deep recognition in it for me, sister, even hearing you say that then. Like it's just so I don't even really have words, I guess. The closest way I could kind of describe the feeling is that kind of ah like um it I guess recognition is it because it's almost like that I've told you before how I've felt very in my life I've felt very different and there's been so many times where I felt very misunderstood or quite alone in a sense. And that feeling there is that complete embracing. It's the knowing of there's no aloneness. There is only that knowing and that embracing and that
Mm.
non-separateness, I guess. Yeah, and I think that's why it's so emotional. I feel that's the best way I can kind of describe why that's affecting me inside so much. So yes, so thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I guess it's also very much related to what you've just said because this is how this is a place, this is a place and this yeah, from where it's written, how it's written, and at the same time there is a very clear kind of differentiate she's very clearly differentiated within this
Mm,
space, but and it's very much it's very much yeah It feels to me very, very central in the sense of very much correlated, very much womb related,
Mm.
and at the same time, it's very it's very crystalline. So it's very kind of effortlessly crystallized
Mm.
into beingness. Yeah.
Yeah.
I send it to my high school friend, and actually she got back to me, and she had a very wonderful experience with the text.
Mm.
Yeah, very much. She said that she felt like sucked into it,
Mm.
as if she kind of had disappeared into the reality, like disappeared from where she was. She was at a train station in Poznan,
Classic.
and she felt that she disappeared from there into the reality.
Mm.
Mhm.
Well, I think that pretty much describes most of your work. Anything that I've read or experienced of your stuff, it does do that.
Yeah,
Mm.
in a way
I think
similar. In a way, yeah, in a way. And
I'm
also,
kind of,
she had this kind
yeah.
of she had a very clear thought when she was reading. She said that it's it's really how she experiences this, how a person reading experiences this is very much related to how they to to how they decide to receive.
Mm.
I mean, she doesn't say decide, she says to how they are open to receive.
Mm.
Because I wrote her something, you are the co-creator here, you are the creator actually.
Mm.
As the receiver, as the receiver, you give kind of yourself
Yeah.
into the experience, into the experience.
That's really a beautiful way of looking at that, you know. It's a really beautiful way of saying that.
So to me also, when I'm saying it now, it feels like I disappear.
You disappear.
Yeah, I
In,
disappear so that you appear. What?
in that when people are receiving it, you've disappeared because
In a
but you're
way, yeah, in a way, it feels like it's also written from a place of disappearance.
yeah, but as the receiver reading it or experiencing it, there is that disappearance as well. So maybe that's part of it. I found actually what um I suppose it was I didn't feel as much conscious of being in a physical space disappearing. I was quite in a quiet space in my room anyway. But I did feel that like getting absorbed into the journey that it took me on. Um, the emotional journey
Mhm.
of of it. And um and it felt different too sometimes the way you've written it, like the colors of the words, and then the way some of the words come in from this from one side and then others are in the middle.
Mhm.
And like I'm sure you've done that on purpose. I don't know if that's supposed to be different conversations or people speaking or different interpretations or perceptions, but the energy kind of felt different based on the color and the positioning of the words and almost like there was a conversation going on or there was something in there flowing. Is that,
Mhm.
can you tell me more about that? What's, I'm sure you've done this on purpose. There's a reason.
Yeah. Yes. I started writing. I Well, I've been writing for a long time. I've been writing in the very middle, it just feels the it's just it feels right. It feels
Mm,
right, and also kind of the amount of text on page.
mm,
It feels it needs to have space to exist, to exist.
mm,
So it's so like the word, or the words within themselves, that like so that each page is a being, in a way, is an entity on its own that
mm.
needs to have space to express, to impress.
Mm.
And
It
then
does that.
mm, it's central because this is the place where I write from, write in, write through, write for. Like anything that happens, like is around, is in, with, through the central space, through the womb, through she, through WeAM. Mm. And it feels, this is the location.
Mm,
And then in this is the first time. I think now one is all written in the middle. I don't remember, but anyway, I've here I also write from the on the right side,
mm,
because again there is this infinite need to reverse, to restructure how it's all structured,
yeah.
to begin to see from a different place, to begin to perceive from a different place, to perceive differently, to sense differently, to have some kind of other access. And this felt just naturally aligned.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, thank you so much, sister. I mean, yeah, I guess it's I don't know, I have no words, I'm just very happy.
well, I think what you just said then is part of the magic of it, actually. That's part of why it's open to be received the way it can be received because of how
Mm.
you've given it that space. There's like there's an element of, I guess I want to say love. There's an element of love in that creation, giving it that space, that room to breathe. And it kind of does feel like that to read it. It has like that kind of, there was times where I wanted to, you can't just scroll from page to page, like there's pauses between the pages as well, like that's part of the absorbing of it. Um, and
Mm.
I say absorbing of it, and as I say that in a way, I kind of feel maybe it absorbs.
It's both, it's many, yeah.